how easy is it to actually use this website? Is the information still there? If the information is there, I think that's probably the most important part. But how easy is it to find that information? Is there a phone number that I can see when I'm on pretty much anywhere on the website? That's a pretty common thing that I see and that I develop for, is that phone number, no matter if you're scrolled halfway down the page or on the very top of the page, you're always seeing that phone number.
You're busy, you've got a decent practice, but nobody wants to be decent. You want to be great, and you want to have a great practice. So how did the most productive, profitable dentist in the nation balance real life, work, and profits, and somehow make it all seem fun? Well, it comes down to simple, everyday practices. So grab a lunch, join us as we chat with top clinicians and influencers to discover their formula for uncommon success. Are you ready? Then it's time to explore everyday practices.
Welcome back, everyone. This is your co-host, Reagan Robertson. Today, we're rejoining the conversation Chad and I had with Productive Dentist Academy's senior web developer, Ken Davenport, about what makes an exceptional dental website in 2020.
Are there any red flag kind of things that dentists should be, looking out for, like when they're getting their website built?
Number one, I would look for shady SEO people. Really watch out for that. And these are the people who are going to tell you, I can guarantee you're going to be number one on Google. You can't really guarantee that. And if you're even saying you're guaranteeing that, how are they actually doing it? Are they putting a link to your website on all these other shady websites? You don't want that.
Is being number one really the most important thing these days?
As a consumer, I don't think so. I think if you're, above the fold there, I think it's fine for me. But as
what's
a
that
business,
mean? Top three?
It depends on your resolution. I would say probably top five, at least for me.
Okay.
But really, I can't speak as a business owner. I don't do a lot of business through Google myself. But as a business owner, I'd want to be as high as possible. But what's really neat is, so how you do a Google search and off to the right, you have that box that has like the map and tidbits information, reviews, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the prime place to be.
Oh, so that's where you pull up, like if you, Chad, pull up your veranda dentistry, you should see a box come up in the search, and that gives that, I know what you're talking about, and that gives you the picture and the website directions, like all the little buttons. It's the Google My Business section.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I read an article not that long ago that said that being the number one spot for a certain keyword is really kind of moot at this point, because the ads take up the space anyway on the devices. So all you see in the quote unquote above the fold is just the ads anyway. So you don't really have a true number one space. You're in reality like number 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and Google's algorithm is just crazy. It's like if I search for something here and someone in New York searches for the same thing, the listing position is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so shady SEO is one red flag to look at. If they guarantee number one on-page placement, that's a big question mark.
That would be a red flag for me. Also, inexperienced designers and developers, look at their work, look for references.
And test it out on multiple devices, not just sit there on your desktop, or let them show it to you, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Maybe check out other work they've done on various devices. See how they perform, see if they load fast, if they do not.
Yeah, I like that you did that you talked about the loading fast, because I've done that before too, Chad, where I will pull up something on my phone and it's not loading, and I will go and toggle either my airplane mode or my Wi-Fi mode, because I'm thinking, well, it must be my connection. And then if it's actually a slow site, I'm like offended. I'm like, taking up my time. And then I will abandon it and I will go look for a different solution.
Yep. Okay, so 2 websites come up. And you're playing odds that you want your website to be just a smidge better. But I mean, I don't know how you get a website, but what makes a website pop in 2020, in appearance and flow and stuff? Some of this might be over the dentist's heads, but what are you thinking about when you're looking at a website and going, okay, as a designer, therefore as a customer, I know that, the customer, the patient is going to like this. What makes for a pretty aesthetic and also functionability? I mean, you did already mention, like, where are they? What are their appointments times? Do they take our insurance? Do they have an online click on? I mean, is the find the doctors button important? And then what about the overall aesthetic of it? Like what's going on?
Really, that's what I look for. Being the consumer, how easy is it to actually use this website?
Okay.
Is it clunky? Is the information still there? If the information is there, I think that's probably the most important part. But how easy is it to find that information? Like what kind of page structure do they have on the website? Is there a phone number that I can see when I'm on pretty much anywhere on the website? That's a pretty common thing that I see and that I develop for is that phone number, no matter if you're scrolled halfway down the page or on the very top of the page, you're always seeing that phone number. You're always seeing a link where you can schedule an appointment. Just making things convenient. I think that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah.
And did you guys want to kind of dig into accessibility?
I don't even know what, like, tell me. Yes.
I'm glad that Chad doesn't know. I'm glad.
Okay, so to just a little backstory, accessibility is essentially just making things available to everyone, not being discriminatory of people with disabilities. So the need for an accessibility on a website, it's huge right now, especially with lawsuits being filed against Domino's for not having their website accessible. That was a really big one, and that since then, that's when I've seen the huge push to essentially mandate a lot of brick and mortar places to have their websites be accessible. And besides it being mandated, it's also the right thing and the kind thing to do. Think of it this way. Okay, so you have a brick and mortar business and you have stairs leading up to your front door. Would you willingly discriminate against anyone with disabilities who aren't able to use those stairs and rely on using wheelchair ramps? I wouldn't. I can't think of anybody who would do that. You want to do everything in your power to ensure that everybody can get to your business, right?
Absolutely.
Sure. So the same thing goes for a website. I have family members whose eyesight's really impaired. I have other family members who have muscular dystrophy, and they can't really use a mouse to get around a website. So it's important to me when I'm building accessibility into a website to think about these people. What tools do they have? Some people can use keyboards. They have customized keyboards for them where, they can hit their tab key and go all over the website. Or if their vision is impaired, they have screen readers that can read the content on there to them. And, it's a big deal.
Very cool.
Does it take special development? So in other words, is it something where you'd have to ask a developer, do you make our website accessible to everyone? So is it something special in the back end that has to be coded in?
Well, it definitely has to be coded in. If it were my business and I was having somebody develop it, I would ask them to guarantee that it passes accessibility tests.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip. So make sure that whatever company can pass an accessibility test.
How is that standardized?
It's not super standardized. There's a lot of different places that can do it. Easiest way, send me a link. I could look at it and within like a minute tell you if it's accessible or not.
Yeah.
Google has a lot of tools like Google Lighthouse, which will kind of do an audit on your website, and not just for accessibility. It'll look for performance, best practices, speed, all kinds of just really helpful piece of information.
So if people want to get a hold of you, is it as easy as Ken at productivedentist.com? Boom. Okay.
Let his inbox. Make it fun, guys.
I'm a wealth of information. I'm always happy to point you in the right direction.
Well, we'd like to tap into that by emailing you at ken@productivedentist.com just to ask you, what kind of sandwich you want for lunch. Do you have any new dad jokes or puns?
What's your favorite pun, Ken?
The one that I can think of right now is my poor wife. She had just her hands full with a laundry basket, and she tripped, and I watched everything unfold.
Well, congrats on your new baby boy.
Thanks.
It's fun watching him grow now. You said 4 months old?
Oh, yeah. That's smile. Awesome. Oh, it's just the best thing ever.
Isn't it so cool? Well, we're happy for you, and we appreciate you coming on our podcast today. Ken, thanks so much for joining us. Now get back to making my website better, would you?
All right, will do.
Well, thanks to all of our listeners as well. Oh, yes. Regan, please wrap us up.
Okay, you have to answer from your gut instinct, okay?
Yep.
Bacon or eggs?
Bacon.
Well done.
We got a bacon one, Chad.
Fair enough. Well, everyone, thanks for listening to Everyday Practices. We'll be looking forward to filling your minds with fun, happy dental thoughts next week, and be looking for that in the inbox for your email. And you can also find it on Facebook and on the website, productivedentist.com/podcasts. I imagine it's somewhere right about
That's
there.
right.
So is it? Well, then
Yeah.
I wonder if Ken made that website so that way it's memorable. Y'all have a good rest of the week, and off we go.
Bring your lunch or take us to the gym again next week to improve your everyday practices. Also, subscribe on iTunes, follow us on social media, and sign up for our email list. Now get out there and win with Everyday Practices.